Hi, I'm Kat, and in this video I will talk all about my experience using the Noom app for weight loss. This is a cell phone app that uses personal coaches who have a background in psychology to help you lose weight with psychology and a lot of the principles that go along with that. So I personally think that is a great approach to weight loss because so much of it is just getting in the right mindset. So I hope you enjoy my summary of my test driving this app, and it gives you some ideas for how you might utilize it in your own life. If you're not already subscribed to my channel, please hit the subscribe button below, hit the notification bell next to it so you get updates when I post new videos. Follow me on social media at Katrinaosity, and be sure to post a comment below telling me what you think. Alright, so here's my rundown of the app. You open it up and it looks like this, and you have the option to sign up to get started. You can sign up with your email, and then you select all of these parameters. So how fast you want to lose weight, your age, starting weight, and your height, just to give it a little idea of what they're dealing with. Then you create your account and it signs you in. You have to enable your phone to receive push notifications from the app, and this is your home screen. So it has all these different options. Initially, what I did was enter my exercise that I had already done that morning, and they have all of these different types of exercises that are already entered into the system, so the app just calculates exactly how many calories you're probably burning based on the parameters you entered when you first opened the app. Now, it's not going to be exact, of course, unless you have a device like a Fitbit or something like that, but you can go into a specific exercise. I picked swimming because that's what I had already done. You can set the intensity and the length of time, and then that will calculate it into your day. Then you can go into meals, and I had a tiny breakfast before going swimming, and then I was going to do a second breakfast later in the morning. So my first breakfast was a green apple, so I selected green apple. You can select different amounts of the foods, and then you select the next item in a meal and enter that as well. And then once you have built the entire meal, you can hit next and save, and it will combine it all into a single meal for you. The next thing I did with the app was a notification that popped up, and it was sort of a survey to get them started on evaluating me and pairing me up with a coach. So I answered all of the questions in that survey, and then it went on to select a program. And there are 3 different types of programs. I picked the Healthy Weight program and started the 7-day free trial. Then it is time to add your profile photo, your name, and your bio. I entered a short and sweet bio for mine just to keep it simple. And then it tells you a little bit about Noom coaching. And you can meet your Noom concierge. And I think, had this one conversation with her, and then it connected me with my actual Noom coach after that. Then it gives you a little bit of a crash introduction on the course and a very detailed outline of exactly what is going to happen throughout the course of the program, which is really great so you don't have any surprises later down the line. And once you've read the entire thing, you check off the button at the top that says that you've read it. Then it takes you on to another short survey about how motivated you're feeling and asks you questions about that. If you have HealthKit on your phone or other apps, you can then connect it to this app and it will share all of the information. Then in the sidebar up here, you have a weight graph that you can keep track of. There's a recipes tab where you can try all of these fantastic looking recipes. I tried a couple of them myself over the course of the week and they were really good, and I definitely didn't end up feeling guilty about them. And it will push notify you whenever you need to pay attention to the app, which is fantastic. It is day 1 of test driving this Noom app. I don't know if I'd call it a plateau so much as I just don't really care. I have zero motivation. Zero motivation. So for instance, I've only been awake for half an hour. It's my day off and it is noon. Yeah. And part of the problem is that I just don't get to bed early enough. So if I got to bed at a reasonable hour, and there's really like no good reason for this other than I just have like zero accountability when it comes to going to bed on time. So I think my first step is to work on that, and then I'll be able to get up earlier, and when I get up earlier, it kind of motivates me to get more done. So hopefully that would be a good first step to getting to the pool early in the morning for the early lap session. So that's where I am. It is July 10th, and let's see how the next week or so goes. Okay, it is Friday, and I started this whole challenge on Monday, and here are some of the things that I have observed about the app so far that have been the most helpful for me. One of the things that I really like are these little extras that it has, and these are just kind of like things to keep in mind. Sorry, my email is always there. And these are just like extra little tips and tricks to keep in mind for lifestyle changes. And there are one of these every single day, and you can read them, and they're just like a little bit of food for thought, and they point you in the direction of other things that could be helpful for teaching you good habits. One thing I have noticed as far as the food logging is I definitely eat a lot more calories on days when I'm at work versus days when I'm working from home just doing YouTube stuff. So for instance, let's see, Monday I went 1,075 calories over. I was on set. Tuesday I worked from home and I still had 722 calories available in my budget. Wednesday I worked from home. I went 77 calories over, still not great. Thursday I went 644 calories over, and that was a day that I was on set. However, yesterday my walking goal, so it has like a pedometer in your phone, and the goal was 1,100 steps. I did 4,823. It was a long day on set. Seeing everything I eat, seeing my choices laid out very clearly for me, and I've actually done really well. I tend to gravitate towards healthier foods anyway, which is definitely helpful, and part of that is because I can't eat meat, I don't eat meat, and I can't eat gluten, so that automatically cuts out a lot of red foods. One of the only red foods I've actually eaten this week was Italian salad dressing yesterday. So I think I'm doing pretty well in terms of diet. Of course, on the days when I'm on set, I can always cut back more, but then again, days on set, I'm also apparently more physically active, so maybe it balances out a little. I have been enjoying like some of the little chats that I had with my coach. You can go back and forth with them, like talking about just like some of your habits and stuff like that in terms of health and physical activity and all that. So she's been conversing with me through this app, and I also have my group, which is pretty cool to have in there because there are all these other people who are using the same app, they're on the same journey, and they're just talking about, you know, ideas for recipes, ideas for exercises, you know, like stuff that you wouldn't necessarily want to talk to your friends about because it's kind of boring. But when you have a forum for it and it has notifications on your phone when these things pop up, then you're definitely looking at them and talking to people about them. So that's pretty dang cool. Now, in terms of exercise, I don't think I've necessarily exercised more. I think when I have exercised, I've exercised better and longer. My main problem with exercise is finding a way to fit it in, because if I'm working, like yesterday for instance, I worked from 9 a.m. to 1 a.m. Yeah, so obviously like the only time I am going to be able to exercise is before 9 a.m. So I had to drag myself out of bed and go swimming at the YMCA. But having the accountability of this app where I am logging all of my stuff was probably the only reason I did that. Otherwise, I would have just said, you know what? I worked a long day. I didn't need to work out yesterday. But I got it done, and that feels good. And part of that is just accountability. Even if you don't necessarily feel judgment from like your health coach or from the people in your group, it just helps to have it all written out and be able to see it all. So it is Friday, and that is my progress so far with the app and my experience with the app. And so far, I think it's going really well. I don't think I've lost any weight. I don't think my body necessarily looks that different, but I definitely feel like I'm on the right track. So I'm gonna keep using this through the weekend, and we'll see how I do. Alright, it has been exactly 1 week that I have demoed the Noom app, and while I can't say I've noticed any really drastic differences in my body yet, I think they're definitely on their way. So there are certain things that I just wasn't really paying attention to before, like the fact that when I'm walking around and really busy for the day, I actually am burning quite a few calories, like my super busy days on set. I wasn't really noticing that, and then once the pedometer in my phone picked it up, and I didn't even have my phone on me for probably like 50% of that day, you know, that was a really nice motivator, seeing that I was burning those calories. And I've never really done like a calorie deficit to lose weight, and so I've only tracked my calories maybe like once or twice in my whole life, and that was just kind of to see like where I stood. But I never really did it consistently because I didn't have anything like the tool in the app where you basically just enter your food and it counts the calories for you. You don't have to do any sort of guessing. So that was really helpful in seeing also how much more I consumed the days that I was on set, because there's just nothing to do for the majority of the time, and so they give you all this junk food, and then they feed you really well with these catered meals, and so it's very easy to go over and not even really be thinking about it. So that's definitely eye-opening for me, and having the community of people on the app who were trying to motivate each other, then having the coach who checks in with you, and then having a place to also log various exercises that you're doing is incredible because it takes the guesswork out of it. And even on the days when you've fallen short of your goal, it's not discouraging because you can see exactly what you need to do differently to do better the next day. So overall, I feel like it's less of guilt and more of motivation. And previously, in times when I've tried to create accountability, be it with like a trainer or working out with other people, it really just felt more like guilt than anything else. But with this app, you're sort of removing the personal aspect of it because you're not just counting on friends or a person you meet in person, but it is, you know, a trained professional through an app who is connecting with you and making sure that all of your needs are met, but they're also not really guilting you. So that's really nice, and I definitely feel like continuing with the app, I'm on my way to making those positive changes, and even though after a week, of course, I don't really see anything yet, I'm definitely on my way, and I'm definitely feeling more motivated. So overall, this is a really effective tool. I wasn't really sure exactly how well it was going to work for me, but I'm super impressed, and I think if you've had trouble just motivating yourself, this is such a great tool, especially because you can set up push notifications, and so when you're going about your day and you get a notification, you're used to it being email or a text or something, so you're gonna look at it, and when you see it's the app and it's a helpful little reminder, it's just gonna get you back on track, and it doesn't feel like it's nagging you, it doesn't feel like it's guilting you. It's just really nice, solid motivation from a psychological standpoint, and I think that has proven really effective. So I am a big fan of this app. I think it works really well, and I definitely recommend it to all of you.